in Delmarva, and then this year to, you know, kind of put it all together and get that, you know, that's a lot of fun to see guys that you've kind of came up with throughout the year and see the work that they put in and all the hard work and dedication. And you know, I noticed after spring training, after this year, when he spent time with Weedy and Caleb, he kind of put together a routine before the game would start. And that was pretty cool to watch, is how he kind of stuck with his routine. And you know, that gave him something that he probably didn't have before. And it just goes to show now he's got the ability to be a big league catcher, and he put all the pieces together this year. And you know, for him to get Player of the Year was pretty cool.
Joining us now, Steve Melewski, who covers the Orioles on a regular basis, not only major leagues, but the minor leagues for MASNsports.com. And Steve, when you look at some of these players like Chance Sisco, you got to be happy for them seeing them play a lot in the minors, right?
I'll tell you, a great award for Chance today, the Orioles Minor League Player of the Year, and very well deserved, Tom. I mean, this kid at age of just 21, second-round draft pick a couple years ago out of a California high school. Everybody knew he could hit. He was drafted for the bat, and he has done nothing but hit 300-plus throughout his career. And here's what I like what he did this year. He had a big offensive year last year, but at a higher level almost all year. He was at Double-A, a couple games at Triple-A. He did better across the board. I mean, look at that, better average on base, slugging. He had many more doubles. He had a little more hit with a little more pop this year. And so Chance Sisco really took his offense even beyond what we've seen earlier in his career. His defense has come a long way. Donnie Hart, I interviewed him. We're going to talk about it in a second. He knows Chance Sisco very well. He said the pitchers like throwing to him. He worked extensively on his defense this year. He was in camp with the Orioles, and really I think Sisco learned a lot, worked with Matt Wieters, Caleb this spring in Sarasota, and a very well-deserved award for Chance Sisco. We might see him in Baltimore sometime next year.
And there's a look at Chance Sisco as he's being introduced to get his award. But when you think about Sisco, obviously he's a young catcher. Donnie Hart's made it to the big leagues this year, Steve. How about Donnie Hart?
Yeah, it's kind of cool to have these award winners today because they know each other so well. They played together. One was a highly hyped second-round pick who's lived up to that hype. And this kid, Donnie Hart, was a 27th round draft pick. Tom, in the 2013 draft, 818 players were taken ahead of him. And look what he's done out of Texas State University. Worked his way up the system, came to the big leagues this year. Has pitched so well for the Orioles. The kid's got a lot of guts. As Buck says, he's not afraid. You know, he comes from that sidearm delivery. And Donnie has told me Darren O'Day's been big for him. They have kind of similar arm slots. He's picked Darren O'Day's brain over the years. And, I mean, this kid is smart and savvy, as we know. Remember that game with the Nationals when he watched video and he noticed that Daniel Murphy was straight off second base on a ball hit back to the mound? What happened? Donnie Hart got him at second, and he got Bryce Harper out on the play, by the way. He's also gotten Ortiz. So that's pretty good for a 27th round draft pick, right? He gets out Harper and Ortiz in big games this year.
Steve, how about the fact that the last 3 years minor league relief pitchers have been getting the Jim Palmer Award?
It's interesting. You know, there were some really good starters on the farm this year. I mean, Brian Gonzalez at Delmarva, Christian Alvarado at Delmarva. He led the South Atlantic League in strikeouts. So there were some guys to look at. But, you know, there's almost in baseball time, we saw it when the Royals started and how important bullpens can be and bullpen arms can be. And over there, we're seeing more and more clubs draft pitchers who are exclusively bullpen arms or were college starters that they project to be bullpen arms in the minor leagues. And as we've seen with Donnie Hart, as we've seen with Michael Givens, as we've seen with others, they can come up here and help.
Donnie Hart going out to get his award, but how about another relief pitcher, Jesus Lorenzo? You're big on him right now, right?
I'll tell you, I think the organization is, Tom. Here's a guy who could be winning this award next year. He's 21 years old, out of the Dominican Republic. He was released by the Atlanta Braves, and the Orioles signed him. And Lorenzo this year, he started in extended spring, but his secondary pitches became better. I mean, this kid throws mid-90s. He gave up just a 116 batting average this year. He has to be protected on the 40-man roster to be away from the Rule 5 draft this year. And I think the Orioles are sending him to the Arizona Fall League, Lorenzo we're talking about now, to get a good look at him. Is he ready to be on the 40-man? Because he has to be added this winter or another team could take him. So Lorenzo's another relief pitcher we're talking about with a live arm that the Orioles saw. Another organization, Atlanta, cut him. He came to Baltimore. He got a procedure on his elbow. He's pitching great. He's one to watch.